and good morning. I hope that you all are very well. Amazing. So let's dive into another episode of SAP Growth Podcast. In this episode of SAP Growth Podcast, we are thrilled to have Mr. Arghadip Kar, a seasoned IT professional, nearly 20 years of expertise in SAP ABAP, Workflow, and S4HANA. As an associate director at Deloitte, Arghadip shares insights into his diverse skills and expertise in ERP application. Join us as we explore his journey, discussing how SAP workflows and S4HANA architecture works and the future trends shaping in SAP industry. This promises to be a valuable conversation for both seasoned professional and the one who's entering the world of SAP technologies. So let's welcome Mr. Arghadip Kar without any further ado. Hi Arghadip, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. So thank you so much again for joining. And we are ZaranTech family. We are extremely happy to have you in our podcast as
Mhm.
we are extremely excited. We've been talking and we've been excited about doing this podcast for a long time now. So thank you so much for joining. So right now, whatever I introduced you with, could you please share how was your 20 years of SAP journey looked like? Directly, I'm going to ask you that.
Y- Well, 20 years, yeah, it has been, it's just like yesterday. I was walking the aisle in the IBM India office in Calcutta, and
Right.
I was always welcomed by my mentor. He's still my
Uh,
mentor, Jatin Srivastav, and he helped me out, and he taught me a lot of things about SAP ABAP workflow. So
right.
I learned all these things. My first project was in Nestle, and I learned anything and everything from there. Until date,
Okay.
also, if I get stuck, I have friends who helps me out from there. So this is like a Bible project for everyone. And then, as and when we got new challenges, we moved. One thing about SAP, being an SAP consultant, it's you have to travel a lot and you meet different people. So that's one great advantage you get from being an SAP consultant. Okay.
Right. So it's like people who want to be a SAP consultant or a expert, they are getting a free tool of traveling and enjoying their life and staying in different cities in the world, right?
Yeah, exactly. And knowing different culture, you meet different people. So
And make friends.
it's really fun. And this is something. And to be honest, it's all about memories. So every project, every code, every people you meet, it's all about memories. So it's really
Absolutely.
fun. Hmm.
Spot on answer. Thank you.
Hmm.
So now I will directly jump into the question. So can
Hmm.
you please provide a brief overview of your 17 years of expertise? Like now it's 20 years in IT industry, especially in the role of SAP ABAP and workflow.
Hmm.
Plus, if you tell the audience what is SAP ABAP is,
Yeah.
because
So Yeah. So SAP ABAP is the coding language of SAP. Sometimes I say ABAP. We always say it's the ABAPer. So we say ABAP. If you flip the word, it's the BAP of SAP. So it's like the
right,
dad of SAP. Without ABAP, you can't do anything. I hear nowadays a lot of things that we can go and get rid of ABAP, and I laugh. I say really. So if you think, you think ABAP is like it's like you have a car, okay, and you inside the car you have the speedometer, you have the gears and all those things. So the car is just SAP. Now how to drive it, how to speed it, how to brake it, it's the BAP portion. Okay, to be honest, with all due respect to the functional consultant, you are nothing without us. Okay. So this is something that, and that's why you have this, lots of times you see people will say in an SAP project, they say RISE-F objects. RISE-F objects are nothing but work, but nothing but ABAP objects. Okay, so you have at least minimum 200 to 300 RISE-F objects. That means these are all ABAP codings that can be report, that can be enhancements, that can do magic for you. Okay, so this is something, and if you are like a person who likes to do coding or likes to do logic thinking, that's your thing, that's your baby. So you want
Right.
to get into a BAP and other things. So it's really nice, and you can see things like lots of times the client say the magic thing is something the client gets stuck, and they say,
Right.
okay, find me the issue. Okay, so the functional consultant goes there with all due respect. They come and say, okay, I'm bringing another guy who will take care of this. And guess what? We put our debugging hat and we say, hey, something is missing, some config table is missing or something. So
Right.
it's pretty fun. And then sometimes nowadays it's very common that the ABAPers also sit with the business users. But before it was like, oh, who is this guy? From where he came? He came from another planet. He fixes this, and so it's just like so it magic happens. Okay, so it's fun. Yeah.
Wonderful. Like this. So, with your SAP ABAP expertise, could you share some insights to your expertise in SAP ABAP, including your specific projects and challenges you have encountered in successfully addressed, actually?
Yeah, during my course of 20 years, I have worked across probably multiple hundreds and hundreds of projects. Okay, now you might say how you can work with hundreds projects. In IBM, I used to be the application lead of SP Workflow, so I have to manage 30, 40 projects at one go. So
Wow.
lots of times we used to have resources; they used to get stuck and all those things. But with
Right.
ABAP, the challenging things is about where they are going to tell you something about their own process. Okay. So it's
Right.
all about, see, to be honest, when you're being a consultant, at the end of the day, you have to sell. Okay. They're paying you millions and millions of dollars to get the system better, not to
Right.
get what they were. Okay. So when they have a system and they want to make it better, so you have
Mm-hmm.
to build those applications, those programs. And first, generally, it's my trend is you deliver something, and sometimes you can see in the faces of the people, it's like a candlelight glowing up, and they're saying, and you can see they will not say a wow, but in their expression you can see there's a wow inside them. Okay, so
Right.
those are
Right.
the things that happens. And always during my consulting career until date, I always love chaos, because I love chaos peak project, because there you have things to learn. Otherwise, if it's a stable project,
It's
it's not
boring.
fun. Yeah. So in the chaotic project, you target the person who is only shouting, okay, who's saying, "Oh, this is falling apart." This is so I target that person, and and I say, I cannot see. To be honest, you cannot please everyone. Okay, Lord
Right.
Jesus, Krishna could not please everyone. Who am I to please everyone? So what you
Right.
do, the person who is whining the most. So as I was saying, I love places where there is a lot of chaos in the project. Okay,
Mm.
and I always target the person who is complaining the most. Okay, so if you can target that person and make them happy, trust me, the trend will change. Okay, and this happens, and lots of times, to be honest, 90% of the times it works, but
This
sometimes
is the
10%
first time
it
I'm
doesn't
hearing
work.
this approach. This is the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
time ever I'm hearing this approach.
yeah,
I've
yeah,
never heard that you take the most
yeah,
complex person in the group and
yeah.
then you make
Yeah,
that happen.
because what you do is lots of times is the person who is complaining is going to give you all the problems, and if you start solving the way he is complaining, he will be start applauding you also. Okay, so because that's the way to trend it. Okay, so I always follow this thing. I look into it, the person, and generally, to be honest, all on the nothing against the woman. It's the woman who is always complaining, and I target that woman, and I became their best friend. And I give them, it's like freebies. Okay, sometimes they say, "Oh, can you build something where I'll get this column?" And lots of times, at the end of the day, it's a coding. But sometimes I always believe in this, that if I'm fighting for something to
Yeah.
build, if it takes 1 hour to build, and to fight it takes a day, and still I don't get anything out,
Mm.
it's a loss for my time. Okay, to be
Right.
honest, I'll just give it as a freebie. And trust me, he or she, until date, there is a person in there was a project I worked in Nestle. that person, when he used to use something that used to take like 3 clicks, and now I gave something which was a 1 click, and he still did. He said, when I click every time, I look at your face, I remember at your face, because you gave me a 3-click solution to a 1 click. So those things matters. It's all about the friendship and all those things. Not everything, at the end of the day, yeah, everyone is going to make money, but there is this friendship to help them out,
And
to
also
give
that
them.
brings a certain level of trust between the
Yeah, there's lots of trust, and you never know what is going in their personal life. So you
right.
need to judge them. You cannot be critical all the time, because we everyone makes mistakes. We make mistakes, but
Absolutely.
when and I believe in lots of times I have a team, and if they make mistakes, I'll take it. That's not a problem, because the person who is working will make mistakes. If it doesn't
Right.
work, there will be no mistakes. So those are things that take into account. So those are things that you have to think about the SAP consulting. So that really helps you in the long run.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so
Mhm.
much for this
Mhm.
wisdom and knowledgeable
Mhm.
experience you've shared. This will hit in my, store in my brain forever.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
you have to
Mhm.
choose the most hardest route to solve, and then you have
Exactly.
the reward waiting for you.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what? Okay. One learns new things every day. So
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
jump into the next question. That you have mentioned your involvement with SAP S4 HANA projects. What
Mhm.
challenges did you face during that implementation, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, to be honest, with SAP S4 HANA, it's just like another SAP project, but there's
Yeah,
some guidelines that you have to follow. So first of all, lots of times we spend with the business and ask them what is their business process and all those things. Lots of
right.
times, to be honest, most of these people are young people, or whatever people are there. They may not know their own system. I don't have spent time with them asking. So what I do is I have bunch of programs that I run in their system, and I know what is there, and I ask them and confirm them. You have
Okay,
this and this. See, to be honest, the world is going in a case where you cannot ask a direct question. You need to give them options. Okay, life is all about options. Okay, it's not about you say, oh, 2 plus 2 is only 4. You have to say 3 plus 1 is 4. Life, people loves to get options, and you can influence that, and you can tell them, see, at the end of the day, they're spending so much money. You should be smart enough to know what is in their system, and ask them, hey, these are the things that you have in your system. Do you want it in the new system? Most of the time, what we do, we go there, we don't understand their business process. And I have seen this lot of times. People don't understand their business process. The consulting company have their own agenda to implement something which the business doesn't want. So at the end of the day, it increases the timeline. There's
right,
blame game and all those things. So why you want to do that? They're paying you the money. See, at the end of the day, if I go to a restaurant and I ordered simple thing. I ordered biryani. I want to expect biryani. I don't want to expect rice or roti and all those things. Why you're
right,
trying to sell that? So on that front, I think the customers are always right. So you give them what they want, you know. And lots of times you can say, you can influence that you have biryani as well as you have fried rice, or you have something different that you can try, But
right,
if they are asking biryani, and even after that, you need to give them that. So that's
right,
one thing that is missing in most of the projects. And after that, there are things like trying to give a solution better than what they had before. So if they had something that has 10 clicks in ECC, in
mhm,
S4 HANA, it should be at least 10 clicks or less. Don't give me a solution of standardization saying, oh, 10 click solution becomes 25 because SAP said it's standardized now. No, they will not take it. They will say, I don't care. I'm paying you money to do all this magic.
right,
So those are things that you have to uh, understand. And another important thing is empathy. Empathy is very important. When you empathize yourself, but put yourself on their shoes, then you can understand what what problem they will have, so then only, there's a emotional thing going on, there's a friendship and all those things, and then you get it. And again, there can be cases when this guy is so much hard-headed that even if he gets good solutions, he will say, "Oh, still not good." Then you say, you just move ahead. You can't please everyone, so that's it.
Right, right. So I'll jump into this next question. As an expert in SAP workflow, how you have utilized your SAP vendor invoice management, which is VIM, projects, and what automation processes have you implemented?
Yeah. So to be honest, I'm not an expert. I'm still learning. I'm learning every day, day in, day out. So to be honest, workflow is something where let's see, workflow is the what is the gray factor of your brain, okay, which is the smarter factor. So it's the same thing about SAP. Okay, if you know workflow, you can do magic. Okay, I can do magic day in, day out, anything and everything. So what happens with Vim is Vim uses this sophisticated workflow, and
Mhm.
at the end of the day, it uses workflow. And I'm just telling, there are things that can be like, I'm just giving an example where something that take used to wait for a lot of time. It's just like workflow is nothing but, if if I'm saying if I'm having a meeting with you, and
Mhm.
then I say something in this call, workflow will listen to it and do the operation. So you can say it's the AI that was built probably 20, 30 years ago, that no one really understands, but you can do lots of magic. Okay, so I've done lots of things that was virtually impossible to do using SAP workflow. It's a conventional way. Lots of times workflows, they say, oh, it's about approval. No, workflow is all about automation. The more you use SAP workflow, you can automate a lot of things. Now, I'm not going to automate something that is people used to do for their job. I will do something, automate, that no one wants to do, but it's very important. Okay, so those are things you can automate. Those are very important stuff that you can automate using workflow. And in Vim, it uses day in, day out with workflows. Without workflow, Vim is zero, nothing. So that's the important thing.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I'll jump into the next question again.
Mm-hmm.
Being a speaker at ASAC and Tech, how
Mm-hmm.
has experience contributed to your understanding of your latest trends on SAP, and how do you stay updated with the latest development in SAP world?
So to be honest, being speaker in TechEd is always a learning experience, because when I'm trying to speak on something, to be honest, there are lots of people who have lots of knowledge. Okay, the
Absolutely.
worst the worst part is they don't want to share, or you have to poke them to get the sharing out. So in TechAid or ASAC, whenever I speak on something. Okay, and then there will be some 3 4 guys who will say, you can do this in that way also. So then it improves myself
Yeah,
about how you can improve your world. Okay, and
yeah.
it gives me more solution options about
Right.
how can I improve something. So I'm just giving an example. If you can do something in one way, they will give you 4 other ways to do the same thing. So that's the best part, and it's something it's improving myself as well as it's improving themselves. So it's poking out the solution from them, like pinching, hey, tell me. So that's another thing about this. And to be trended with what is happening inside SAP, to be honest, I love to work with. It's not anything against the my generation. I love to work with the young generation, because they're lazy, they're smart, and they will tell you why I have to do this like this and why
Uh,
not this. So sometimes, we have been working with SAP for 20 years, and
yeah,
sometimes we are, taken for granted that this is the only solution. But they will make you think differently, and they say there. See, at the end of the day,
mm,
if you think there is always a better solution than what you are giving, then you are
yeah,
learning. But
yeah.
if you're complacent and say this is the best solution you can, well, probably you are stopping the knowledge to come inside. Okay. So those are
Absolutely.
things that's important. And I love the young generation, because they ask those, it can be stupid, but then you think, no, it's not stupid. He's asking some question that I need to answer, and probably I'll improve it my product answering those questions. So those are things really which
I think
drives me.
I have heard this somewhere. I don't want to mislead
Hmm.
the audience with a different
Hmm.
name, but some um, um, famous tech person had told that you search the most laziest person in the room,
Except,
you'll know the best way to get the
yeah,
job done.
exactly, exactly,
and
exactly. Yeah,
and
exactly.
I instantly shared that thing with my mom. And see, you're seeing a laziest person in the room, and I get all my jobs, and so I'm
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
smart.
Yeah,
So
the laziest.
she was
Yeah,
like,
that's
"No,
true.
don't compare yourself with that." So, and also with the thing that I see that what you said earlier, that when you share your knowledge, you share your expertise with others, you get a lot back, right?
Yeah,
You get a lot of things back. Like if you're giving one chocolate, they give you 4 or 5 chocolates
exactly, exactly,
at the same time.
exactly.
How I can resonate with this, because when I used to take in my college days, when I used to take tuitions for my pocket money and all that, maths was my most hated subject. Okay,
Right,
but
right.
maths I could teach people like students till class 6 or class 5. So in my school days, I hated maths because I didn't had the right resource of or a mentor to
Mm-hmm.
trick me with
Exactly.
different ways and something. When I started teaching maths to the kids I used to teach, I was like, damn, why didn't I like their way of understanding maths? When that's when I felt that okay, in college days I started liking maths. I
Yeah,
left my school days, but in college days I started liking
yeah,
maths.
that's
Now
true.
I like maths. So
Yeah, that's
that's how
good.
things are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
So,
it's wonderful. Like what you shared is so
mm-hmm.
appropriate, and so true
Mm-hmm.
that I can't disagree to any of it. But yeah, only for one. That I'll share with you later.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
moving on to the next question. So what do you see the current trends and challenges in SAP ABAP, especially with the advancement in technologies like S4HANA?
So the trend is that there's some new things that has come in ABAP. Okay.
Okay.
So I think all the ABAP consultants, you all know it. Okay. And sometimes you need to upgrade your skill a little. To be honest, there are things that we used to write in ECC 10 lines of code. And
Right.
now you don't need to, you can write the 10 lines of code. It will work, no problem. But there's
Right.
a way where you can write the 10 lines of code in 2 lines. Okay. So it's
Absolutely.
beneficial for you also, it's
Yeah.
beneficial for you. But again, there are lots of cases where there is a benefit and there is a pros and there is a con. Okay. So
Absolutely.
sometimes it may happen that lots of times the debugging portion by writing a 2 line code may not help. Okay. So you have to do a trading where it really works. Okay. And there are things that are not new coming like SAP BTP and all those things, which is completely new and you can put your hands on. And to be honest, if you don't even put your hands on, you'll be secured for 10, 15 years, no problem. But it's always good to know new things. Okay. And I have seen lots of new college graduates and all those things. If you want to come into SAP and you know a little bit of coding, SAP BTP is your go. Okay. Because there are lots of places, the mid-sized companies will use that and it has a future. Okay. But again, ABAP will always be there. Okay. Learn the new things and also try to know ABAP because without ABAP, to be honest, there are lots of trends, SAP, BTP, and all those things are there, but still 90 to 95% of the company uses ABAP. Okay, right? In, day out. Okay.
Right.
So that will be your bread and butter. If you want to add some, blue cheese on top of it or cheese on top of it, you can add SAP BTP just to let you. So those are things are good to know.
Mhm.
And to be honest, there are lots of trends, people saying, oh, everyone is moving this. To be honest, in S4 HANA also, there are still very few people who really knows this thing. Okay. There are lots of
Okay.
people who were going with buzzwords and all those things. And
Right.
now the new buzzword is AI and all those things, chat GPT and all those things. But it,
Right.
it changes. Last year it was blockchain and all those things. So every year it comes with a new buzzword and you just follow
Right.
the trend. But to be honest, if you stick around with SAP, BAP, and other things, and to be honest, in S4 HANA, there are lots of new things that has also come. But lots of times, those new things may not be useful for everyone. Okay, so just don't push on it. Like I'm just giving an example. You have Fiori. Okay, Fiori works with a perfect with people with persons who spend less than 1 hour in SAP. If he's spending
Okay.
more than 1 hour in SAP and he knows SAP ECC, don't give it to them because he will throw it away. He will say, "I want," because at the end of the day, the Fiori is all about the young generation. It's a lot of clicks, but
Okay.
people who likes to hit the system, they work on keyboards. It doesn't have shortcut keys, so they will hit the system. So don't give those. Don't try to push things because at the end of the day, every customer is different. So the same formula may not work with another person. Okay, so you can let them choose. Don't push it. You're a consultant. Don't push it. Okay, let them choose. They are spending millions and jillions of dollars on this. Let them push. You can influence that. Like you go in a shopping mall, right? You want to buy
Yeah.
a dress. Okay, suppose you go in a Zara. You want to buy a dress. You want to
Mm,
buy a skirt, and they're pushing for a gown. Yeah, they can
mm,
push, but don't push it so much that you run away from Zara and you go to Forever New or something. Okay, so it's something like that. So those are things. Let them give them the empowerment to choose. You can
absolutely.
influence. That's it.
Even in my last one of my podcast, I spoke to Mr. Avnikant Singh, and he shared the topic of greenfield versus bluefield. So
Mm-hmm.
he said a very funny thing that a lot of experts, a lot of people out there who does not know what project they are into. They're doing
Yes,
a
that's
greenfield project or a bluefield
exactly,
project. So
exactly.
knowing what you're doing is so much important nowadays.
Hmm.
Like otherwise, if you don't know the roots of the projects, if you don't know the roots of
Exactly,
what you're doing, it can backfire you later on. That what have I
exactly,
done?
exactly.
So absolutely is was spot on. So I'll go into the next question as
Hmm.
for ethics professionals looking to enhance their skills, what advice would you give as are there specific training, resources and methodologies you recommend right now?
So, so based on experience, you go in a project and all those things. You, the more you work, lots of times people complain, "Oh, I'm stuck in a support project. I'm not in implementation project." To be honest, support project is the project where you learn how to do things. Implementation project, you will do that thing. But first you need to know how to do it. Okay. So that's very important. Everyone, no one, means even I worked in lots of support projects because there you know how something can be implemented in a multiple ways. So if you are trying to learn something, okay, so I'm just giving an example. You have a solution where you want to suppose there is a requirement where certain fields needs to be populated when something is happening. Yes, there is only one solution. Don't think about one solution. You need to have at least four solutions for a single problem. Then only you are moving further. If you are thinking that you have only one solution and that's the way, it's good for you, but it's not going to help you in the long run because you are already thinking this is the best solution and that will help. So learning is very important and try to understand. Lots of times I generally don't like blogs and all those things without screenshots. I've seen lots of blogs; they just write things. As we know, to be honest, I'm a system person. I need to see in the system. Show me the money. So if I don't see in the system, you can
Yeah,
speak a lot of things. I don't believe it. And lots of times you follow people who really show it in the system. They don't go into uh, PowerPoint presentation. Don't show me PowerPoint presentation. Show me in the system and show me how you can do it. Okay. Once you show me in the system and how you do it, go for that person, learn from it, and try to replicate it. Try to
that's
replicate it in your system. And if you can't, there's something probably he has missed. Lots of times I make a lot of training videos. I miss things. And they tend to ask, "Oh, why I couldn't do it." Then I say, "Okay, I could do it. Probably there's another place I should have told something." And then I learn more. Those are things that really have matters. And to be honest, as you said, you learn one thing in a day, right? You were saying that's the one thing I've
Yeah.
learned something.
Yeah.
So I always try to learn one thing, new thing in SAP. Okay. The
Mm.
problem is my the hard disk in my brain is getting low because I'm getting older, or it doesn't have enough capacity. So what I do,
I think we have to
in
remove the cache of your hard drive a little.
yeah. So what I do, I tend to create small videos or documents for myself, and
Mm-hmm.
that helps me out because
Yeah.
to be honest, internet is something that is like an open book. Like
Right.
if you think, even if someone passes away, his contribution will still be there and will be remembered. So this is
Right.
something where you need to share. I have seen lots of people who doesn't want to share knowledge, where I
Yeah.
feel pity for them because if you get stuck, you go to Google. What you're doing is trying to get help, right? Why,
Right.
if you know something, and don't feel shy that my knowledge sharing is very small, it can be as stupid as anything, but it's useful for someone else who is also, trying to find something. So always share your knowledge. It's very important.
I think psychologically, people, why don't they share at the level
Hmm.
I've understood that they think that what if this person learned this and they earn more than me, or they
Yeah,
become more successful than me, so that fear of losing the
yeah. That's true.
the the life they are leading, they keep that other person down, keep it down. Don't No
That's
need to
true.
know that.
I
So
mean,
this
that's
sort of
very
a
much true.
mindset I have encountered. I have encountered in my life quite a lot of times that why you need to learn this? You don't need this. You just
Yeah,
shut
yeah.
up and sit down. And
That's true.
like I'm specifically talking about teachers in my life which I
Exactly,
have
exactly, exactly.
like if I were in a chemistry class and there's something else like advanced chemistry the teachers are discussing about, and I'm not going to name it because it's a audience based thing. So some advanced basis of chemistry or physics or biology, I want to know. Then first you learn the things you have now. Why you want to know this? You want to be a doctor. So that is something I felt that they have that insecurity in them. That's why they don't share.
Exactly,
Or
exactly.
least insecure, they always share and they are more successful.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
as
exactly.
you are,
Yeah.
I have to tell you. So you have worked on integrating SAP cloud platforms, workflow
Mm-hmm.
with Ariba, S4 HANA. Can you share some insights into the challenges and benefits of such integrated projects, if you have?
Yeah. So to be honest, I worked in one or two projects where it was integrated. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the challenges is about sometimes it's suppose a perfect example is um, uh, I I built was as a success factor workflow where someone was getting onboarded, and then he or she has to travel, and then it integrates with Concur, and then you have to get a laptop, then it integrates with Ariba, and eventually you get shipped the laptop and all the things. The good the challenge is most of these people are working in silo. Okay. The business people, they don't and it always happens, there's this competition going on. Okay,
Right.
if I am screwed up, let them get screwed up. So it doesn't happen. So lots of times you need to go to the top management and say, hey, we can build something like that. But
Mhm.
to be honest, most of those top people also say, oh, leave them alone, whatever they're fighting, let them fight. So these are some of the challenges where there's no real integration together, but otherwise you can do a lot of magic. Okay. So I'm just giving an example. You have a success factor that has been a person has been onboarded inside, and then automatically, instead of asking a trip to be created and all those things, you can always integrate it so that that person, suppose he is onboarded, his base location is Mumbai and he's in Kolkata. So always you can push the ticket to them automatically, rather than the person is lost for 2 3 days scampering here and there to, hey, I need to fly but I don't know how to fly. So all those problems are there. So all those integration can make it work. So these are the things. It's the culture problem that I think is missing. And also
Right.
it was initially SAP pushed for it, and I think it didn't work well, or it didn't get popularized, so it got
Mhm.
submerged a little. But it has big potentials. Probably, to be honest, SAP comes with new solutions, and
Mhm.
then like the app giver. Okay, everyone is used to know app giver. It's the same thing which is now called SAP Build. The
Okay.
app giver used to do the same thing. Now SAP trended with a new name, SAP Build. Now it started working. Sometimes the name also makes it work. So it's all about the thing. Sometimes you have to change the name, change the logo a little bit, put the
Yeah.
new cover, and you sell it. It works. Sometimes it works.
Right.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Thumbs Up.
Exactly. It works. It lots depends how you present it. You know,
Yeah.
it can be the same samosa, but hey, if you present it with some chutney, it may work. No, no.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Now with the listening, hearing about samosa, I'm getting hungry. So I'll just quickly jump into the next question.
Yes.
How do you ensure the quality of SAP projects, especially
Hmm.
when managing teams and delivering solutions to clients?
Okay, so to be honest, quality of projects it's very important. So I
Mhm.
don't believe in human check. Okay, so to be honest, see, at the end of the day, if something can be automated, I will do it, because I'm just giving an example. I'm writing an ABAP code. Okay, there's some checks in the system that
Mhm.
the client wants. I will
Mhm.
not wait for another person or my friend to check my code, because he's not going to check. He's already having an 11-hour day and he's not going to check anything. I know him. So, what I'm going to do, and at the end of the day, I'll get caught. And in the end, I need to fix it. So, why not the system do it? So I generally build automation where enhancements where the system decides if something is wrong, it will tell me that hey, this is wrong, and you fix it right away. So I like to do those things, and if there's something that can be done only by human touch, then I have to do. Otherwise, I'll automate the heck out of it, and the quality is maintained. Okay, I'm not waiting for a human eyes looking. Oh, something is missing. Something this. No, no, no. Let me fix it, and I'll move on right
Okay.
away. Yeah.
Now, with the constant evolution of SAP technologies, where do you see the future of SAP ABAP heading, and what skills would you think would be crucial for SAP professionals out there?
I think SAP ABAP is going to stay for. See, to be honest, 78% of the world transaction runs on SAP. Okay, so
Right.
that's a freaking monopoly. Okay, so the only way it can, I think, it can go out is if SAP screws themselves only. No one can screw themselves. To be honest, okay, there's no world. I think the last try was Google was trying to do, but then Google came back to SAP and say, I want to implement SAP Finance for myself. So on the ABAP side, I think we have to just make sure you just upgrade your skill whenever possible. Try
Mhm.
to build solution that can be reusable. Okay, that's going to happen, because you can't expect you go to a project and the SAP project is going to take 2 years. No, it's not going to happen so much. So you have to cut down the time. So in this case, you have to be reusing your code. Okay, so the code that you have put in, to be honest, to everyone, every ABAPer that goes has their code repository. So use them wisely so that you can cut down the time and deliver it fast. See, at the end of
Right.
the day, it should be like a plug and play. Most of the companies, to be honest, most companies love to pay you more, not to show your face. Okay. So they don't want it. It's the world is changing. Every day there's lots of times I consider the SAP should be similar to like playing a game, right?
Yeah.
Like my kid used to play Subway Surfer, and I say
Okay.
you don't need a training to play. It's a game. So the
Absolutely.
same thing should be SAP. It should be fun and it should be easy. It should not and it has changed a lot with Fury and all those things. It's easy, but it
Right.
cannot be taking. It cannot be trending for a 1 year project. It cannot. It needs to
Right.
come down, you know. So those are things that needs to be improved. And if an ABAPer can cut down the time in building things, that should be very useful. Otherwise, that's the only thing I can think is lots of times the clients get frustrated. Oh, it takes so much time and all those things. So that's another problem that can happen. Okay. Otherwise, it's pretty secure. Just think about knowing something more, get more
So
solution out
people,
per problem.
so people who are more into technology-based mindset,
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
should pursue ABAP immediately,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
should
yeah,
think of ABAP
yeah,
immediately.
yeah.
And those who are like really like coding and like to learn new languages of coding languages, including ABAP first of all for the SAP.
Mm-hmm.
So there are lots
Mm-hmm.
of scopes and opportunity out there.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. That's very important because yeah, you need to have the coding mindset. And nowadays I can see it in the in schools and in the schools they teach. So
yeah,
I will, yeah, so there are lots of things that you can learn. And nowadays you don't need to be an 18-year-old to make money, you know. You can have
right,
your own YouTube channel, you can have your own Instagram account, and you can make millions and millions of dollars. So the world is open, so it's up to you. You can't just complain, oh, I'm just studying. You know, you don't need to make money for means in order to make money, you don't need to study. So those things, you know, there are lots of people I know. To be honest, I had a student who is in Germany now, and he started learning ABAP in his engineering college. Okay, so and guess what? In a matter once he passed engineering, he got a call directly from Europe, and he's there. So that's the thing, right? So you can, you know, you can change your future by learning it yeah, ahead of it. Okay.
absolutely. Learning has no foundation ever.
Exactly, exactly.
That so Orgodeep, this was
Hmm.
the last question of the lot,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I really genuinely had a like the most fun time with you regarding talking about ABAP, because with like I said to you earlier, with every episode, with every expert, I learn a little by little. I learn new things, and today I learned so many more than ABAP and more than I learned a lot about life. Thank you so much for your wonderful time, and I
Thank
hope
you.
this audience would love this episode again. And
Thank
I just
you.
wish you and your family a very happy New Year again, and
Yeah,
all
you
the
too.
best.
You too.
Do you have any message to give to the audience apart from professional message? Any message you would like to give to the ZaranTech family, the audience, or anybody?
Yeah, I think the only message I will say, don't think, always think there's always a better solution in
Right,
in your it can be in your SAP in project, it can be in your life. Okay, in your
right,
personal life you might have a tough day, you might have something fallen apart, and it will fall apart sometimes. So you
right.
need to get up. That's how mankind happens. And you just need to remember the good days, and sometimes you remember the bad days and you move on, you know. So
That's
same thing, it happens in corporate world and all those things. Don't get into politics. Politics is going to happen in corporate. Okay, if people say they I don't like politics, you I think you are in the wrong place. Just concentrate, as you said, knowledge is always free. I can not give you a promotion, I cannot give you enough money, but knowledge is there to pick up, and no one can deny your knowledge. And knowledge is going to give you everything, anything, and everything. Because when you try to get a new job, it's
true.
about knowledge. It's not about politics, what you do. So,
Right.
leave those politics, just, the, let the dogs bark. People are
Like
there. You
I
have to
become
just
deaf
ignore.
dumb. I become deaf dumb regarding those kind of scenario when it
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, yeah.
I can't hear. I can't speak. Like
Yeah, just
completely
move
shut.
on. Just move on, learn the thing and move on.
Yeah,
That's the best thing. That's the best
yeah,
thing you can do.
absolutely.
And give chances, help others. That's one thing I want to tell the young generation or anyone. Help
Yeah,
others and just move on, and don't stop your knowledge sharing. Start sharing your knowledge. It can be a stupid, see, everyone starts their knowledge sharing with a stupid thing, and you may sound it stupid, and but it's not. It's maybe very, very useful for another person. So just
absolutely,
do that.
absolutely. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Arghadip.
Oh,
It
thank
was
you. Thank you. Thank
lovely
you.
talking to you again. I can't thank you enough today. I don't know. I'm very happy for this
Okay.
episode. So
Thank you.
take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Take care.